and welcome to Drawing with Basic Shapes. My name is Shayna Armin, and today we're gonna work on eyeballs. See what I'm saying? I know what you mean. I know, I'm lame. I can't help myself sometimes. But why don't we just go ahead and get started. We're gonna start drawing eyes. Now, I know what you're thinking. For the first part, let's start with drawing a front-facing set of eyes. Okay? First things first, we're just going to draw a line. Is that it? Yeah, we're just going to draw a line. We're going to draw a line right in the middle right there. Like this. Okay? And in that line, we're going to draw some ovals. 3 of them. One oval. See, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just one oval. 2 ovals right next to it. No big deal. And then 3 ovals. Okay, it's not exactly perfectly on the line. It's not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to get it close enough for you to understand the situation. So, now here's the part that people don't even consider. Erase the line and the middle oval. And flesh out your 2 ovals. Boom. Symmetrical eyeballs. Okay. You want to see that again? Let's do it again. Alright, we're going to draw a line. Basic line. No big deal. We're going to draw one oval. Oh, let's see, I'm off. Everybody got their crazy days. Okay, let's start. Draw an oval. Doesn't have to be perfect. You want to draw 3 ovals in a line around the same size. That's all. A line and then 3 ovals. You got that? And then goodbye middle oval. Goodbye line. Goodbye line. Boom. Symmetrical ovals to start your eye. Okay? One of the things you want to do is that now that you've got a good idea where your ovals are going to be, let me kind of clean them up a bit. Alright. Now that we've got our ovals, what you want to do, and hello Harry, hello KP, and hello Skip. We're going to go ahead and put little arcs over each of our ovals. And then the bottom, we're going to do it again. Another arc under each of our ovals where it kind of meets. Okay? Now, if you were drawing someone who is of Asian descent, they don't usually have eyelids, but we, Anglo faces, we're going to stick to Anglo faces today, do have eyelids. And so you want to go ahead and just follow the same arc, but don't complete it. You want to put an arc just above your eye. Boom. Eyelids. How you like that? Okay. Let's get in close. How? No, don't move, camera. Okay. All right, now that we're here, let's draw the circles inside the eyes. The important part is to just try and hit it in the center. If you can't hit it in the center, you know, and don't try to be perfectly symmetrical. As long as you're close, that's what matters. Okay? If you're close, you're there. Because not every face is symmetrical. In fact, I want to say 95% of all faces are not symmetrical. Have you ever seen that thing where you see only one side of your face and try to flip it over to the other side? You don't look like the person you are. So it's okay to not be perfectly symmetrical. So we go ahead and get the eyes in there. And something I like to do is I like to just draw a U to create the pupil. And what that does is it reminds me that your eyelid is creating a shading over the top of your eye. And that's how you go ahead and get your pupil in there, like that. Okay, you're going to shade it in. Hello, eyes. How are you today? Now let's talk about, these look rather feminine eyes. Let's go ahead and do some eyelashes. One of the things they don't tell you when you're drawing eyes is that eyelashes, when you're facing forward, do not show big spiky things. That's not how it works. They pretty much go straight out unless they are off to the side. So you might see a little bit of eyelash here and here along the edges, but what you're gonna see is a darker line here where the hair is sticking straight, the lash hair is sticking straight out. So that's what you want to do. It's very similar to what they do with anime. It's the same idea. And that's why there is that shading at the top of the eye, because you have your lashes out there. You can show a little bit to the sides, but not directly right on. Okay, and let's go ahead. I'm going to show you guys one more time, and then we're going to move on to the side profile of doing eyes. Okay, first things first, you draw a straight line. Just a regular old line. Even use a ruler if you feel like you need to. Okay, from that straight line, you're going to draw ovals. 3 separate ovals. About the same size. Okay, once you have those 3 separate ovals, erase your middle oval and erase your line. Boom, you have the beginnings of your eyes. Okay, in order to create the slight cutoffs you have on eyes, you trace over that oval with an arc on each side, and then you go underneath on each side. Okay, once you get to this point, you want to go ahead and draw circles within the middle of the eye. And remember, it does not have to be perfectly the same. Mistakes happen. That's art. You're just trying to do your best, and the more you practice, the better you will get at it. Hello, Clint. Thanks for joining. Remember, it's a line, 3 ovals, erase the middle oval, and then you go ahead and clean up the 2 ovals you have. Once you're here, go ahead and put 2 little U's in the middle of your eyes, and then shade the top. Boom, there's your pupil. Okay, and like I said, whenever you're doing eyelashes straight out, they will not be all curled up and like, let me do really quick right here. Like, I've seen people go ahead and they'll do their eyelashes and they'll be like, whoa, they're all up here, yee-haw, yahoo. That is not how that works. That is not how front-facing eyelashes are. Even the fake eyelashes you see girls wearing have a thick line head on like this, and then you see a little bit on the sides. Okay, so if you're going to be drawing real eyes, remember that eyelashes are straight out and a little on the edges. Just straight out and a little on the edges. Now, another thing that people don't think about is bottom eyelashes. Like, everybody has them. And you don't want to completely come up against the actual drawn line. You want it just at the edge. Kind of creating a line there. Okay. Are we ready to move on to the side profile of an eye? Are we interested? Let's keep going. Okay. We're going to move him up and over here from our wacky eyeball. All right. I'm going to just do a basic side profile thing. Sure you getting an idea of how thing. There's different side profiles you're going to work with, but this is one of the basics. Curl in, move out, curl in, move out, curl in, move out. Yeah. But let's look up here. This is where your eyebrow is going to be. All right. Your eye is going to be a touch lower. If you feel your own face, your eye is not directly at your forebrow. It's usually just a little bit lower. What you see as an oval is actually more of a triangle when you're looking at it from the side. Okay, if you just go ahead, think about how big an eyeball is. You draw a circle. Okay? And then under that circle, you draw an arc, and then an upside down arc, and you meet the eye. Okay? You go ahead and you pull a little bit up for your lid. Doesn't go all the way down, doesn't always meet because that's a fold of skin. And then you curl your half circles. That's all that is half circles. Okay? Want to see it one more time? Let's do it again. All right. I'm going to do a softer feminine. All right. This line here as the curve will be our eyebrow area. You want to create an eyeball. Really lightly draw your eyeball. And then create an arc going over it. And an arc to where it looks like a triangle and then meets. And there is your eye. Little half circle here, little half circle there. Boom. Another eyeball. Make a little line above it. Lid. Now I'm going to draw a big eyeball. I want y'all to see the big thing so I can give you a good example of the eyelashes. Okay? We're going to go ahead and draw a big eyeball. So just draw a big circle. I'm going to bring a giant arc. And then another upside down arc at the bottom. And then I'm going to meet these bad boys in between. Then I'm going to put a line over here. Not let it touch because it is a fold of skin. And then meet underneath. Okay. Alright, then we've got our half circle. Doesn't quite finish. And another half circle. Okay. Go ahead and erase our extra eyeball line. Clean her up a little bit. Okay. Now that we've got this here, eyelashes do much different from the side view. And no, they don't go straight up or straight out. Sometimes I'm sorry, I have this thing popped up for no reason. Ready to start your event? I'm already here, dog. I'm already here. Okay. Anyway, here we go as I'm curling down and out. Okay, this is all you're going to see. Curling down and out, and it meets back up because this is a line. Okay, so just create a line, and then that's where you're going to put all of your eyelashes. They're all going to curl down and out to create a line. That line comes to the front here, just like it would on the forward-facing eye, except you can't see that line from the side, and then you're going to see curl outs from the side a little. But this is where your eyelashes are going. Okay, so always make room for that. Alright, and as for the bottom lid, alright, for the bottom lid, if you have bottom lashes, remember you're not going to go right up into the eyeball with your lashes. Even your own lashes that you have at home don't do that on a real person. We have a small lid that lines underneath it like this. So it's not exactly there. And it's still going to have some of the same issues. You've got to look for the perspective of how things are going in a rounded way. So they're not going to go all the way to one side or another. All right, do we have any questions? Okay, because I'm about to move on to the eyes from an angle. We've done forward-facing eyes. We've done side eye. It's time to do angle eyes. And it's using both of these tricks to create that. Are there any questions before we move on? Nope. All right, let's get to it. Okay. Got our forward-facing eye. We've got our side. Let's do... And what I mean by angle is sometimes people are looking at you from the side. All right, this is the cheek. Chin coming down over here. You don't have to imitate this part. I plan to do every part of the body eventually. This is just eyes, doing a mock head so you can see what I'm trying to do. Let's put a nose here. Okay. If you're having a face that is in this position, your eyes are not going to be symmetrical in the least. More importantly, you have to think about where your eye is going to be. And what you want to do is do an arc. Draw an arc. Okay? You're going to draw one oval here. Draw another oval following that arc. And then the third oval over here. Okay? It's the same idea as the front facing, except instead of drawing a straight line, you're following an arced line. Okay? And then, of course, you erase your middle piece and you erase your lines. Okay? You clean up your arc. Now you see right here, your nose is in the way of what you're doing, so you're going to move that. Okay? You clean up where you're going. Now, another thing is this particular thing, you're not going to see the complete end of your eye here. This is a part where the side profile comes into play, where you're going to go ahead and draw where your eyeball is, and therefore you're going to cut it off a little here. So your eyelid ends there. Okay? And it's the same thing for here. You draw circles within your thing. That way, when you do your cutoff, your eye's going to end a little right here. And you cut here. Okay? That circle's going to give you a guide as to where your eyeball actually is within the lid that you've drawn. Okay? So Get rid of our circles now that we've got a good map of where our eyes are going. Okay. First things first, we're going to draw our circles. Because I've been drawing different angles here, we want to go ahead and I'm going to draw, instead of directly in the center of the eye, which we can do, and I'll just do it again with the center eye, I'm going to do it from the side, like she's staring at us. So this would just be a half circle here. But over here, you're going to want to put it in the middle and then finish a smaller half circle here to complete the eye. And you still want to do the U, creating that bubbly U shape here. That way, on this eye, you're going to use that guide like you used up here for your eyelashes and have it pull out. And don't forget to do an arc here. Same thing over here. You're going to use that guide for your eyelashes. It comes out here, but that doesn't come completely up front. And it doesn't come completely over here. So you'll be using the same guide for eyelashes as you do for front facing for this eye. And of course you fill in your pupils there a bit. Boom. You're ready to go from a side view. Okay, now for my next piece, I'm wondering if, for my next lesson setup, I'm wondering if I shouldn't do noses. What do you guys think? Alright, I think noses are a great idea. But we're gonna do this one more time. I'm going to do each set of eyes for you guys. And we're going to go through each one together. You ready? Okay. Straight forward. So we're going to go forward. Forward. I can't spell today. Forward. Forward. Okay. It's a line. Draw an oval, second oval, third oval, looks kind of wobbly. Get that oval, get them to look kind of the same size. Erase your middle oval. Boom. You've got forward-facing eyes. Okay. Put your arcs. So that they touch. Put your circles in the middle. Arcs over the top. Don't let them touch. They are folds of skin. U's in the eyes. And then create a shape above and shade it in as a representation of your eyelashes, because they do not show straight out. They don't show straight up, they show straight out. Okay, boom. Forward facing eyes. Okay, next we're going to do our side profile eyes. So we're going to go from the side. Okay, say you have a face. You want to go a little bit away from the actual line. Draw an eyeball and put a forward arc down and an underground arc, and creating a triangle where your eye meets. Erase your guide. Put a small arc at the top to notice the lid. Side circle, Boom, there's your side eye. And what you do is you create a little under arc that goes out and meets, and that is your eyelash underneath. There is your side eye. Okay, and finally, last but not least, for your angled profile. All right. All right, you're going to do a arc shape. Going to draw an oval. Draw an oval in the middle, and then draw another oval, all similar sizes, following the line. Then you remove the middle oval and the lines. Wherever the nose is going to be. In order to find out where your eyeball is going to rest, you go ahead and you draw light circles within the eyes. And that gives you an idea of where to rest your eyeball from the side profile. And then bring in your arcs to complete your lids. Okay. Erase your eyeball guides. Show your eyelids. Remember not to connect because of the fold of a skin. And then go ahead and make circles. And do your U's for pupils. And then do the under arc as a guide for directions of the shading area that notates eyelashes. All right, and that is your angle eyes. All right, does anybody have any questions or maybe something they would like to work on? And because I'm open to talking about how to do certain things afterward, because I wanted to make sure that these 3 techniques on how to draw eyes were easy to understand. And if you have something to say or think it helped in any way, please let me know. I'm more than happy to share. I don't really charge for this kind of thing. TikTok wants me to charge for this kind of thing, even though I am a cartoonist at best, honestly, but I'm here to help. So if you have any drawing questions, I am happy to be there for you and help you understand easy ways to draw. I do believe any person can draw if they know how to make basic shapes. And they don't even have to be perfect basic shapes, because everything gets better with practice. Thank you so much for joining Drawing with Basic Shapes. My name is Shayna Armin, and join us next time when we work on the feeses. That's right, we're going to be drawing feet from the forward face and from the side, as well as backwards. We'll go ahead and take you through every step. Have a great day.